and welcome to our stream, everybody. This is Ariel Gatoga, and we are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch for a general reading for all signs, and that's for today, the 20th of July, 2023. Moderating today on YouTube is the lovely Honeypaw, and moderating on Twitch is the lovely Diane. Thank you so much, Honeypaw. Thank you so much, Diane, and thank you to everybody for joining us today for this general reading for all signs. If you're watching on YouTube on a restream and you don't feel like watching all my shuffling, you can use the timestamps in the video description to fast forward. I am, show you what I'm reading with. It's too big to put up here, but it's this Salvador Dali tarot. And I'm going to purify with this beautiful verbena by Mono Theme. 3 sprays in this big room is more than sufficient. You can find links to purchase these products in the video description of this very video on my YouTube channel if you so desire. This goes out to a lot of people, so if for some reason it doesn't apply to you, doesn't seem to make sense to you, just disregard it, because it may not be meant for you. In that case, check out the zodiacal readings for your own individual sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign, all of which are available on my website for easy restream. Just click the free tarot readings link in the main menu, ariels-corner.com, ariels-corner.com. You can see the different URLs on your screen right now if you feel like giving a donation on our PayPal link, or if you want to visit our shop or visit our website. We do make a small commission off of each and every sale at our shop, and we do appreciate your donations. If you'd rather donate through the YouTube portal, you can use a super sticker, super chat, or super thanks. We do appreciate your support. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you follow us on, if you're watching on Twitch, I don't know why I keep doing that lately. If you're watching on Twitch, make sure that you follow us on Twitch, and you can watch without any ads on Twitch simply by subscribing to us there. All right, let me just demonstrate more clearly how poorly I do hand over hand shuffling, but that's okay. These cards are gorgeous, but they're too long for riffle shuffling, so I just struggle through it. Let's give this a nice clean cut and see what's in the cards for everybody today, the 20th of July, 2023. I'm so happy you're here. Thanks for being here. Starting out with, whoa, that's a 10 of swords, a Knight of Cups, and a Queen of Cups. Well, we just put those things in the rear view. Some of you have had some really bad kind of outcomes in your past, and it looks like many of you are deciding that you're not going to let them kind of dictate your attitude moving forward. And I'm really happy to see that, because I think a lot of you might not realize how spiritually evolved you already are. I think a lot of you just sort of like have this idea of yourself as being sort of like, you know, a beginner in all of it. And in reality, you're a spiritual master in your own way. And it's imperative for you that you nurture that spiritual development that you're doing with that understanding that you've come a long way. You've made it through a lot. You've made it through, you know, a lot of times we compare ourselves to maybe other generations or people that have gone before us, and we think, well, they really had it bad. You've gone through your fair share. You know, you don't diminish the pain that you've experienced. Don't diminish the very challenging and difficult lessons that you've gone through. And because what happens, I think, for a lot of us, especially since we are learning, many of us, how to, you know, pivot and to refocus and to not let our past get us down, that doesn't mean that we can't honor the pain that we endured, that we can't acknowledge, yeah, that was a lot. That was challenging. That was more than challenging. That was heroic even of me to get through that. That's not being arrogant to think that way. It's giving yourself your own fair due. You know, you've come through a lot, and look at you now. Look at you now. You're doing amazingly well. And what really matters is how you're doing in your heart. What really matters is how you're doing in your mind. You know, and a lot of times what happens is people have stuff go on, and it turns them into being these cynical creatures, and that's not happening with you. And there's two kinds of innocence. There's two kinds of innocence. There's the innocence of a child who's innocent because they don't know any better, and that's sweet and that's wonderful. But then there's your kind of innocence, that you've been through hell and back, and you still choose to see things in a certain way. You still choose to see the good in the world, and the good in people, and the good in yourself. You know, that's a kind of innocence that's very mature, and that's got a lot of experience attached to it. And so I want you to just take a minute to acknowledge your pain that you've endured, and to acknowledge how far you've come, and to don't sweep that stuff under the rug. Again, we don't want to make it the star of your show. We don't want it, it's like, okay, I'm the survivor, as the only thing about who you are. But you are a survivor. You are. You've survived quite a lot. And there's no way to diminish that. I mean, there is a way to diminish that. I just don't want you to diminish that. Don't compare yourself against other people. What you went through is what you went through, and it deserves some honor, as far as, especially since, look at where you've come. Look at how you've done. I mean, it's amazing, really, really inspiring to see. All right, so we've got the 6 of coins, a 3 of coins, and a 5 of coins. Okay, let's look at the 3 and the 6. The 6 is a lot of what's helped a lot of you people to recalibrate your pain into treasure. And what the 6 is that solar light. It's that divine design. It's that higher power that does for us what we cannot do for ourselves. Well, many of you are very aware of that. For some of you, you may not have called it that. You've called it maybe something else, but that was the only thing that saved you in the past, was leaning on that higher power to do for you everything that you couldn't do for yourself. And now it's you're allowing yourself to combine that with your own efforts to even go farther. But what happens is that if we don't honor our past, if we don't honor the pain that we've come from, and we don't really own the strength that gave to us, if we diminish that in some way, then we are basically allowing ourselves to recycle it. We're basically allowing ourselves to go through it again, and go through it again, and go through it again, because rather than recognize that we are strong because of our tribulations, we are strong because of what we've gone through, and then we're going to parlay that strength into new strength and new strength and new strength. If we diminish what we went through and say, well, it wasn't that bad, then we're just giving our ego a free rein to say, okay, well, let's do some more of that. They don't seem to mind it. They don't seem to learn anything from it. They don't seem to acknowledge it. So I guess that's where we get to be. So yay, let's do more of that. So let's not do that. Let's not let the past keep repeating itself. And the way that you don't let the past repeat itself is first step is remind yourself how you got out of some of that to begin with. And that was looking up. So let's look up now. We don't want to only depend on our own efforts. We want to be co-creators with that higher power. We want to be both. And allowing ourselves to be protected from the past recreating itself in our future by acknowledging all of the lessons that we learned. If you've already learned the lessons from those experiences have no need to repeat themselves. And in fact, if you are working with that higher power, then even if there are new lessons to learn, the higher power always, its primary goal is that you learn everything through joy, through peace. Now, if you refuse to learn your lessons through joy and peace, pain will do. But that's not optimal for infinite intelligence. So the bottom line of this reading for me today is to keep allowing yourself to lean on that solar light, or whatever you call it. So if you don't know how to work with the solar light, you may want to use one of my solar light meditations, just to find it, and just to see if that's something that's interesting for you. But if not, find your own version of that you can lean on, so that you understand that you're not in this all by yourself, and that when things aren't so bad, you can continue leaning on that anyway, because all that does is help to support all of your own personal efforts that you're making now. And when you do that, then you put yourself in a powerful position where you don't keep recreating those same patterns over and over and over again. But if left to our own devices, we can't help it. That's just how we are. We're creatures of habit. We just keep doing it again and again and again. And we never, quote, learn our lesson because we never invite the teacher into the equation. We never actually, we think that we can be our own teacher. Well, no, the pain itself is teaching me the lesson. No, it's not about the pain teaching you lesson. It's allowing that celestial teacher to teach you the lessons regardless of whether you have pain or not. Right? Yes, you can learn the lessons that the pain got you, but you can also learn lessons without the pain. So the idea that you know enough to teach yourself is something that you need to let go of. If we were so smart, we wouldn't have any of these problems, right? If we were so smart, we wouldn't keep recreating things ourselves. So and again, that's not to denigrate ourselves. It's to recognize that the ego mind is limited. It's limited. And until we get to that place where we liberate ourselves from that ego mind, which is not happening at this moment in time, we then need to find help from outside of the thought system where the ego operates. And that's what something like that solar light is. And that's, again, not to diminish and not to say that you just sit around eating bonbons and, watch soap operas and stuff like that, or whatever, reality TV and nothing else, and that you don't have to do any work. Of course you have to do your work. But we don't want to say, well, thanks for getting me out of that gem. I'll take it from here, which is sort of what I'm seeing here. It's just like, oh, I'm doing the noble thing and I'm taking over for my own education. No. You still, no matter what's going on, if you're smart, you still start your day with, I know nothing. I don't know what anything means. I'm not going to be snowed today by thinking that that I know anything, and I'm opening my mind to being guided and led, and having that infinite intelligence, having that solar light in this case, reorganize things for me so that it's always conforming to the divine design. And then as things are placed before me, that's when I know what to do. That's when I get to work. I get to work based on what I'm given to do, based on the assignments that my higher power is giving me to do, rather than thinking it's my job to come up with the assignments, to come up with the knowledge, to come up with the learning. Because that's how we get back into that same old pattern of problem after problem after problem after problem. So yes, you are spiritually adept. Yes, you are a spiritual master, but that means leaning into, I don't know, but I want to be taught. I want to be shown, and allowing a higher power to lead you. And then, yes, you work hard, but you work hard based on what you're guided to do, rather than thinking that you can make it all up yourself or that you're supposed to. I hope that makes sense. It's a really beautiful reading, and I'm very proud of where everybody comes from, because like I said, what everybody's gone through, if you really look at it objectively, is amazing. It's really intense. And the fact that you're doing so well is awesome. But let yourself get the help that you need, and don't think that you need to do it all by yourself, because you not only do you not have to, you're not supposed to. And when you do, that's when you get into trouble. And even though you're trying to do it because you think that that's the right noble thing to do, it's not. What's the right noble thing to do is take every moment, but especially in the morning when you get up, and say, I don't know, but I'm willing to be shown. And that I don't know, but I'm willing to be shown is that innocence that we were talking about earlier. That is becoming like a little child, so that you can be guided into the success that is your birthright. All right, thank you so much for being here today. I so appreciate you, and thank you so much to the amazing moderators. Today we had Honey Pot on YouTube and Diane on Twitch, and we will see you all for another general reading tomorrow. Blessed be.